Welcome to Align Trading, going over today's SPY recap and live analysis before taking a look at what to be watching heading into tomorrow. So first thing that I explained in the pre-market brief for Discord members was to be watching for the blue and yellow controlled selling with purple buying continuation as we had the gap up, and you had to be paying attention to 545 where the previous gap fill was, like I explained right here. And if we wanted to form with that yellow and blue right here that you see forming, how we form this inverse head and shoulder, and we get that move up to once again test another key level right here being the previous lows. And we also came within just under 40 cents of this 5-day moving average. Now at this point we formed a very strong resistance, which you will see in just a minute on the microstructure, but we were unable to form anything like this above that level, and most importantly the 5-day moving average right here, because if we regained that and formed a shoulder on it, we could start to close this cup back at this 550 level right here and grab this liquidity. And then from there you would want to see once again that yellow and blue right here and form a handle to continue and grab this liquidity on the way up. Now in the morning, if you were looking for this gap fill and to break below Friday's lows right here, I explained you would need to see this head and shoulder starting to form right here, and we would need to see a shoulder below 540, and then from there we could continue down with orange selling continuation, but we would need to break out of this green and white algorithm right here, which you can see we never did. There was no shoulder, and we continued to stay within this purple that we explained and had this inverse head and shoulder. Now we will go over the intraday structure right here on the 1-minute chart and the trades. So now here on the 1-minute chart, first thing in the morning, I explained if you were looking to short this right here, you would need to see this inverse cup close, and then from here see this handle to break below that low, which we never did, and we're never able to break out of this algorithm quite yet. And instead you see how with this blue and yellow controlled selling right here, we are able to form this inverse head and shoulder. You also see that cup and handle right here. Once again, another entry once you see us holding that. And from here, you see that blue and yellow controlled selling once again, and you could have taken this to the upside for a scalp. Now this was personally not the trade I was looking for right here because of this tapering algorithm that we see, and I was explaining to pay attention to if we were going to head back down. You could see something like this starting to form, right, this inverse cup, and from there that handle to the downside. Now it took a bit of time to form, but you see how eventually right here we start forming this head and shoulder as well as this inverse cup, and you see that beautiful handle right here with that head and shoulder to the downside. Now at the low right here, you see how we start forming this once again, and it gets choppy, but there is that head and shoulder within there and this move down. Now from here, once again, we see this white and red tapering algorithm, and we form this head and shoulder off of it right there, and you see how we head down. Now at this point right here, I called it a morning. I ended up taking one more trade in the afternoon, which I will get to, but with this last head and shoulder right here to the downside within that red and white once again that we can see, as well as that inverse cup. So you could have taken this last move or with your runners, but from here we started to see it forming support, and we have this blue tapering right here that we looked to be in, and I explained you had to be paying attention for if we started to grab this liquidity on the way back up right here. Now right here as well, I explained you had to be paying attention to the 30-minute chart, and if you were looking for that downside continuation, right, well, you would probably want to see this shoulder, and it was no man's land between there. You could have taken some profits or left your runners, but we did start to form this inverse head and shoulder that I explained you had to be paying attention to at those pre-market lows right here. So as this continued to grab the liquidity on the way up right here, I explained to be looking for this cup to fill at 546, and from there the handle to retest the 5-day moving average, which we are about to go over and why that did not happen. But if you were looking to short this on the way down, as well, I explained you would have to see the handle or some sort of shoulder in order to do so. Otherwise, just leave it be. You can see that these shorts are covering right here, and this is just a slow and steady grind up. And you do not want to be trying to call for the reversal right here just because you see a few red candles. You actually need to see some structure in order to do so. So after filling this cup right here at 546, I explained to continue watching the blue and yellow that has continued to bring us up right here. So you see this blue and yellow, and from here we just continue within it, and you have this inverse head and shoulder. Now I explained that I would take one more trade here with a strong handle slash some bullish structure. So right here I was explaining that if it was to dig deeper and form some sort of larger handle, I would be more inclined to take it and have actual position sizing, which did not happen. And we just continue to see this slow grind, but it is still controlled within the blue and yellow controlled ceiling. And I end up taking a trade right here, just some lighter size, because we start to see this breakout of this key level. Now, as we continue on the way up right here, I explain you have to be paying attention to if we start to form some sort of resistance towards this 5-day moving average, which was up here, and even this level, which coincided with the low I explained, and you see how we form that strong resistance and start to form this inverse cup and handle on the way down. So you see it as we head down right here, grabbing that shoulder, and then once again another inverse cup. We form this handle right here, head and shoulder. You see that inverse cup down once again right there at this level, and then from there we form this handle once again, and you see with that white and red right here, and there is that head and shoulder inverse cup with another handle once again. So a bunch of entries there on the way down if you were still trading this. So now if you were looking for the upside right here, and how I was explaining if this was to be flagging, you would need to see this inverse head and shoulder, and we would need to get above that level. Same thing right here. If you were looking for that, well, we would need to grab this liquidity and fill this cup back at that level. And then from there, you could see something like that, which we never did, and just continue to follow the inverse cups on the way down with these head and shoulders, and we're never able to see any sort of recovery. Now here at the end of the day, I explained after this head and shoulder down that you had right here, you were going to need once again another handle to break below this level right here with the liquidity if we were to complete this final inverse cup and possibly see a dump at the end of the day. And this was never able to form back at this level. You never see that. Instead, you see this blue algorithm once again right here, and we start to taper. Now at this level right here, if you were looking for the long, well, you need to see this handle, which we never formed right here. It took some time, and it finally formed this larger one, and there is that move grabbing this liquidity up. Now it is time to go over what to be watching tomorrow. So as we were talking about with these previous lows right here, as well as this 5-day moving average, if tomorrow we do want to continue moving higher, well, you're going to want to see that shoulder above these previous lows, and we need to regain this 5-day moving average. And in the case that we do regain that 5-day moving average, well, we can look to complete this cup back at 550. And then from there, if we wish to continue higher, as I explained, we have the liquidity to do so. So be paying attention to that. Now we're still not out of the water yet, and this can still be a handle. What we are seeing right here, if we reject this 5-day moving average and these previous lows, well, we can continue to head down. As you see right here, we have this inverse cup and this handle right there. So if we do want to continue heading down, well, you can be watching for that, and then we need to close this larger inverse cup, and then that shoulder below 540 as I explained in the pre-market brief today. Now going over the daily chart and explaining more about what to watch tomorrow. I also explained in yesterday's video this bottom Bollinger Band was going to be your target, and it still is after the 5 crosses below this 20 right here. You do want to see this 5-day become resistance, And then from there, the bottom Bollinger Band is the target. Now, that can change if we do regain the 5-day moving average and we regain this 20. There can be some sort of reversal, but unless that happens, we are looking for this to still be that resistance and possibly seeing that handle right here for this inverse cup. Now, keep in mind, we do have CPI on Wednesday, so we can be setting up for that move. Even if it is this reversal, we have that liquidity right here, along with those two moving averages to form that inverse head and shoulder. Last thing here before wrapping up the video, as I was explaining with this handle on the 30-minute chart, you can see how on the way down we have this with the purple, and if we do form this, well, we can continue heading down, and that target will be this next gap right here for this inverse cup. Thank you everyone for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see members in the morning.